All right, we are on the air. This is Justin Hagan, and we are here for real estate conversations. This is where I just talk to my peers, mentors, coaches, trainers, anyone who's doing something in real estate to share their real estate journey to hopefully provide you some value. Today, I'm here with Chris Soignier. Chris, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great, Justin. How are you?
Oh, it's a good day, good week. The year's starting off really well. I'm glad we're able to finally connect and make this happen.
Yeah, glad to be here. Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely. Yeah, I know we've connected. We've seen each other a few different times, but today I just wanted to formally come together and talk to you about your real estate journey, get some background, and share things that will help out the people.
Okay.
All right, perfect. So just to get us started out, Chris, tell us a little bit about where you're based out of and a little bit more about your real estate background.
Okay, so I am based out of the Dallas-Fort Worth area. I'm actually just about smack dab between the two cities. And I have a very interesting non-direct path to getting into real estate compared to most realtors. So really, I started off investing passively into multifamily communities back when I still had a W-2 job. I was in corporate America,
Okay.
in corporate finance. And so then doing that, I think started 2014 roughly.
Mm-hmm.
And then my multifamily mentor was very helpful to me getting going. That he had me read Robert Kiyosaki's Cash Flow Quadrant, which is a great book, deeply impacted my life. But anyway, I finished reading the book, and literally about the day that I finished reading it, I was fired from my last job I had.
Oh my goodness.
And I just had an epiphany. It's like, hey, I just do not want to be working for other people anymore. I wanted to get, I don't know if you've ever read that book. If you haven't, I highly recommend it. But I
Yeah.
wanted to get from the S over, or D, excuse me, over to the right-hand side of the quadrant to be a B and an I. Okay, so at that point, we had our backs against the wall, didn't really prepare for this. So, but I just started, I didn't have enough capital really in multifamily to live off of it. So I said, well, we're going to take a step back the other direction, go into single family investing. So I started doing that. And along the way, I was employing just about every kind of strategy. It wasn't super focused, but doing some flips and everything, all of a sudden I thought, actually to my wife, told her, like, hey, you should get your real estate license so you can flip the house, or so you can sell the houses on flipping. And she kind of nodded her head, but wasn't taking a lot of action. And so after checking with her a few times to see what her progress was in getting going, I said, forget it, I'll just do it myself. Yeah. And so my original goal was to be my only client. And somehow things didn't quite work out that way, but whatever, and I never thought I'd be a realtor, but I think sometimes God has his own plan for where we go and everything. And I couldn't be happier to have, ended up accidentally down this path, because it's totally changed my life around and given me time, financial freedom, and, much less stress and more happiness than I ever had going the conventional wisdom route. Getting my MBA in finance, working these corporate finance jobs, even making good pay and all that. But it just wasn't nearly as fulfilling as where I'm at now.
That's awesome. I could turn around and grab that Cash Flow Quadrant book off my shelf. It's a powerful one, thinking about the different quadrants we live our lives in. So how long were you in the corporate world for?
A little over 2 decades, probably 22, 23 years.
Yeah. Wow, that's awesome. So you made the shift from the corporate world, full-time working in finance, to real estate, but it wasn't directly as an agent. Started off as an investor, and you had goals as far as, obviously, you wanted to be your own client, so you're mainly focused on the investor side. How did you end up going from the mindset of, okay, I just want to work for myself as an investor, to what opened your eyes to, okay, there's a bigger world out there as far as being a real estate agent or real estate broker?
Well, really, it's picking up clients just really happened kind of almost accidentally. I was already networking with other investors, and friends with them. We'd mastermind together, or, help each other in other ways. And some just asked for help in finding properties as well as listing their properties. So that was a pretty easy transition. Not even very intentional, but I was happy to help them out. And from there, it was, then 10 months into my real estate career as a licensee, I discovered EXP. And that really kind of flopped my entire model on its head. And everything kind of changed drastically from there.
Okay, so within your first year, you discovered EXP Realty, and as an agent, are you now running it as a team, or are you a solo agent as far as your real estate practice?
So I have a small production team. Right now, it's just my wife, I, and somebody else. But I've built up a pretty substantial rev share organization.
Okay.
Right now, we're, I think, 2,569 agents. We're in all 50 states. Wow. We're, last I checked, we're at least 11 countries. It's hard to keep up anymore, and growing by about 150 to 160 agents per month.
Wow, those are impressive numbers for someone who, before I came to EXP, I didn't know what rev share organization was. I didn't know the impact for it. So how has that changed your life as far as being able to have the opportunity with EXP Realty to build up a rev share organization to help impact the lives of many other agents?
Well, it feels really good, being able to help other agents change their lives, change their families' lives, and everything. So, when I look at it, obviously you're definitely helping people when you help them sell or buy a home. It's usually the biggest investment of their lives, and that feels really good too. But there's a lot of other great agents in my area that can do the same thing and help them. But I think I'm uniquely positioned, versus those other agents in my neighborhood, where I can actually help change their lives, their families' lives, and help them attain financial and time freedom, help them attain health insurance that they might not have, and achieve all these other goals, that EXP's offerings are uniquely positioned, to help. And, I provide a lot of value on top of that. I'm a success coach, help with coaching and mentoring my agents. And we provide a lot of other training on top of that to really help fortify, the great offerings that EXP has. So, it's, and the other thing too, is that, it just has taken so much pressure off the, us personally, our family, the commission hamster wheel,
Yeah.
It's real estate is a lot of fun, but it can be a high pressure job. And now it just feels good not having to worry about, where my next commission is going to come from, when's my next closing, and how do I need to budget to get through the bills the next time. So it's been a true blessing.
Yeah, I know many agents come in contact with. It's a really rewarding role to have as a real estate agent, real estate broker, and we love our roles every single day. Although many people don't see a path to actually retire. I mean, we think about when's the last time some of us have been to a real estate agent's retirement party, or what's the next step, or
I still haven't been to one.
Me neither. Me neither. Yeah, I mean, it'll be nice, but it's a different type of role when people thinking about journey in real estate. It's a different type of role, and it helps to have a vision and be aligned with different resources and just people that expand your mind to what's possible. And I think that's something that I'm really excited about. That's why I get on these calls with people like you and connect with other meetings to be able to expand my mind as far as what's possible. When you started at EXP, did you think that you would be at the level that you were at now, or how did that process work in your real estate journey to getting to the next level?
When I started, I definitely saw the value and the possibilities of the business model. I recognized, I was out, building a rental portfolio, both multifamily, single family. I had some seller financing there too that was providing some passive income. And I looked at this as a way, I call it like synthetic investing. Okay, you get some like, if you can sponsor an agent, a productive agent, it can provide almost like another single family rental. Look at it that way, except that you don't have the traditional downfalls of that. There's no capital at risk. You got no tenants, no toilets, no property taxes, no insurance claims. Never have to worry about evictions, late payments, all that stuff. So it fixed a lot of that. And the other thing is that houses don't go get other houses for you.
Wow.
Agents do. And that's incredibly powerful because it produces it's almost like compound interest. At first you have to do a lot of heavy lifting, all the heavy lifting in doing this. But then when you can bring on good leaders and help them duplicate what you've already done, and that's the secret to our growth is, it's not me anymore. It's really, we've got such a great system in place, with a map of how to do this. And, we empower people to go out and build their own legacies. And so it's always like compound interest. At first you're going to be making all the deposits into a bank account and you're not going to get much interest. But once you get that balance high enough from the work you put in there, then it's going to start growing on their own. It gets big enough that interest will outstrip your deposits that you're making. And so, it's just but back to your question, I saw it as a way to earn financial freedom and get some time freedom, everything. Did I ever think it would get this big or this quick? No, it's, exceeded my wildest expectations. And now, I've reset my expectations and, I have lofty goals for the future, but it's kind of, and EXP as a whole too. And, I saw a very bright future for it, but I can't say that I thought it was going to grow this fast.
Yeah. And I mean, I love to hear that. I love to hear that you hit certain goals, you get close to the goal, and then you set expectations that are higher than that. And when I'm talking to you, it seems like that cash flow conjure really looks like what you shifted to, and you've always had a focus of being on the other side. You came from the investor side, business side, and it seems like you found a way with EXP to get out of that just employee, self-employed, just working at it every day to having a bigger picture of helping out more people. So I really like that. So let me ask you this. You talked about you being a success coach, and I've connected with you on different trainings. Talk to me a little bit about what that means as far as a success coach and some of the coaching and training and connections and associations that you've been able to make and go through since you've came to EXP Realty.
Okay. So first off, for those of you who don't know, back, I guess it was probably a couple of years ago, EXP bought Success Magazine, which is, I think it's been around like 120 years.
Yes.
And it has a great history of really focusing on, a lot of in-depth articles on, very successful people and a lot of industry leaders in terms of coaching, training, development. I think Darren Hardy owned it at one point in time. There's been a lot of Tony Robbins in there and Jim Rome and all that kind of stuff. So really with that, my mind is just like EXP is really also transforming into like a personal development company. We just happen to sell real estate too. And so, we all get Success Magazine, every issue mailed to our doorstep. And that's certainly a great thing to digest, if you really want to help get your mind right and, develop that mindset for success. So I've been appreciating that now for, as long as EXP's been doing that. And then the opportunity came on to get into your coaching program to learn to be a coach. I jumped on that, I guess, the Build conference last fall. And, one thing that I think that, Brent Go impressed upon me is that I needed to get a coach too. So I hired a coach from Success, which I still use to this day. And he is fantastic. He really helps uncover my true values that I offer to other people. And he really holds me accountable to, he doesn't really tell me what to do. It's different than what people think of traditional coaching. He really asks a lot of very deep questions, when we go down these paths, and helps me uncover kind of like, hey, who am I, and what value do I add to my target audience, and how can I reach out to these people and really help them, look for the people swimming to the boat. And so it's been a great process, and he's also a good role model for me in my coaching. So back to why I did it, the primary reason is not to build a coaching business. I am a coach on Success's staff now, but really, now I have so many folks in the organization, and I want to be the best leader I can. So I just thought that, hey, it's a great set of trainings and everything just to really help me be a better leader. I have people that reach out to me on a regular basis, facing challenges of all types. Maybe challenges with their production, maybe challenges with attracting agents, and it may be personal challenges sometimes, and I want to be able to help them no matter, where they are in their business and personal life, see if I can help them get where they want to be. And that's part of it, is I think it's really cool about Success's approach is that, it's not about, like the traditional real estate coaches, go out and make X number of calls, or, do this or do that, when you just check out things. It's like really kind of discovering, what makes the client tick and where they want to be, and figuring out, what's going to give them passion in terms of building their business or their lives to where they want to go.
Oh man, looks like I have to make a call to Success eventually, because it sounds like an amazing program, and there's so much to unpack here. You talked about how you started off with a cash flow quadrant book, became an investor, then became a real estate agent, and just carved out a path with EXP that you may not have had anywhere else, and definitely didn't have in the corporate career, to where you're building up a business within the business. A large business of over 2,500, over 2,000 associates that you're partnered up with, providing value to. You're constantly leveling up your own leadership skills to be able to become a greater leader, all while doing that without having to drive around the country and open up offices, invest a large amount into a building or commercial buildings or whatever it might be. So it seems like you've created freedom in a relatively short amount of time under your own terms.
Yeah, absolutely. My overhead really is like, it's $85 a month plus my realtor dues, which comes about $1,000 a year. So in terms of the income and upside of the business relative to the capital I put at risk, that's almost minimal. And, about 6 months into EXP, obviously there's kind of there's the initial phase when you're still like not really sure, and you're feeling it out and learning the ropes and everything. So I think about 6 months in, I joined in September 2016, and about March 2017, I really just came to a critical fork in the road, and I just had a burn the boats moment and said, okay, I'm going to just let go of my single family investing business to go all in on the agent attraction aspect of it. So I was driving about an hour and a half each way to just south of the Oklahoma border, where my main market for investing was.
Okay.
And that was to beat down doing that, 2 or 3 times a week. A lot of time on the road. And I went there because the margins were better. There was less competition.
Mm-hmm.
DFW market can be brutally competitive with investors. So I just thought that was a good place to build a niche, which it was financially. But I just shut that down other than one rental that I had that was performing really well with no maintenance on my part, and went all in on really focusing on the agent attraction aspect of the business.
Okay. So you were still investing, but you went from investing fully in properties to now really just investing in people and helping build, grow the value of your associates and pouring into them.
Right. And just be clear too, I continue to invest in multifamily and other commercial syndications. So I'm in, some other different niches outside of
Mm-hmm.
even multifamily. I'm in some oil and gas deals and what else? Commercial triple net syndication, some other stuff like that. But as far as those kind of things are purely passive. After I make wire transfer, it's all hands off, and that enables me to focus on this business.
That's excellent. So, Chris, is there anything else that you'd like to share? Anything that has come to mind as far as anything of value that you've been able to pick up since you started in this business, or anything of value that you'd like to share, period?
Yeah, just say, for realtors out here, not sure, regardless of how long you've been in the business, we all know that markets are shifting, interest rates are higher, sales are going down, it's getting to be more of a buyer's market. Depending on how long you've been in the business, you may find it more challenging because, fewer houses are transacting, but, there's still going to be plenty of business for those who are willing to work, who are coachable, who are, just willing to hustle and get out there and pivot, so, if you're facing tough times right now, don't give up just because times are hard. This is when when the iron is forged harder, and, the people who survive through this will be that much better in the future. And, it's just a phase, but, I think there's tons and tons of opportunity in this business going forward. And, hope you can find the path that you're looking for, because there's just so many great ways to make a living in real estate. And EXP has been an absolute blessing to my life. I couldn't be more grateful for discovering it, but, there's so many different ways to make a great living, whether it be sales, building a team, investing, or, lending, title, whatever, inspecting. The world's the limit.
Absolutely. Let's focus on the opportunities. There's so many opportunities out there. I'm fired up, Chris. I'm really glad we're able to make this happen today. And undoubtedly, there's a lot of value within this conversation that we had for so many people out there. So this is Justin Hagan, just signing off for our real estate conversations. Look forward to connecting with you on the next one.
Okay. Well, thanks for having me on, Justin. I enjoyed chatting with you.
Absolutely.